Alright, class, the bell has rung. It is time for class to begin. What class? I don't remember signing up for this. Neither do I. It's for another project. Please just go along with it. Why is it you only ever need us for projects? Really, it's getting old. Hush! Both of you. I have to teach you stuff.
Okay, anyway, so today we're going to be learning about trade, travel, and colonies, as well as many other different topics. We'll begin with the problems the Europeans faced in the Middle East in the 1400s. Ugh, that was so long ago. Keely, shut up. The Europeans had been trading to get lots of luxury items from the Middle East and demanded more that the merchants had. The merchants upped their prices, making the Europeans mad. So they decided to go out and begin voyages to different parts of the world. That's great. Can we move on now? No, not yet. I have to explain how it affects today's time. Oh, I know. It was the beginning of exploration, which is why the world is the way it is today. Correct. Now we can move on. Thank God. Next up, the beginnings of explorations of the Portuguese. They took the lead of exploration after not wanting to pay high prices for fancy things, and they set out to find new things themselves. They were the first European country to establish trading outposts along the west coast of Africa, which influenced other countries to follow in their footsteps. Without the Portuguese, most of our world wouldn't even be discovered. Does this lead us to Christopher Columbus? Precisely. Columbus tried a new route, which was influenced from those high trading prices and Portugal taking the lead. Columbus thought he had landed in the East Indies, but really, he was somewhere in the modern-day Bahamas. Aloha! That's Hawaiian, stupid. Columbus created the colonies, and he influenced other countries to travel and claim some of them as their own, which eventually created the America we live in today. Well, it took him a while. That's why it's called history. Anyway, moving on. The fourth event we're talking about is the establishment of sugar plantations. I like sugar. No one cares. Settlers chose to grow sugar after not finding any gold or silver, since sugar was huge back in Europe. So the Portuguese colony became super rich, and they established more lands to make more plantains on colony land. Sending the sugar back helped Europe immensely, but also it kept the colonies from failing, and if that had happened, we all wouldn't be here. Our fifth topic, how many of these are there? 7. We're almost done now. Shh. Our fifth topic is the export of new food crops to the Old World, aka Europe, to help them recover their population. Sugar, as stated before, was sent back, but so were plants and animals, and specifically, corn and potatoes. What does this mean? I'm getting to that. Europe sent back animals, which kept the colonies afloat, but really it was the colonies keeping Europe alive, because without the colonies, Europe's population would have dwindled and we all probably wouldn't be here. So tell me, what does this have to do with absolutely anything? Keely, you're literally alive because of potatoes. Yeah, sure. Anyway, since the colonies had so much to farm, they needed help, which brings us into our next point, the decision to import forced labor from Africa. During colonization, millions of Native Americans died from disease, so the colonists couldn't use them, so they brought in slaves from Africa. These African people suffered in the colonies, but so did Africa itself. However, thanks to these slaves, they changed our population and our culture, making America the way it is today. Jordan, this little letter is the dumbest thing ever. And you are the most talkative thing ever, Keely. Shut it. It's really sad how so many people had to suffer just to make our country greater. Can't argue with that. New societies were built with this, bringing us to our final point. Hallelujah. You shut it. Our final topic is the heated competition for colonies among northern European countries. Because the African slaves were making the colonies so desirable, northern European countries began to fight over them, since they all wanted more land. Samuel de Champlain of France found New France, aka Quebec. King James found Jamestown. The Dutch found New Netherland, which is now Albany and NYC. And colonies were even being created in the Caribbean. Well, England came in and took over everything. England battled France, got their land, the Dutch gave up their land, and then they just got everything else they wanted. This all led to Britain having control over the United States, which then led to the Boston Tea Party, which then led to, let's say, the Declaration of Independence, and...
Okay, stop. What? This is way too much information. My brain hurts. Well, lucky for you all, that's it. So now you all can go back to do whatever it is you guys do. Which is what? Just waiting at your beck and call when you need us again for another project? I do not only...
What? I'm sorry.
No. Listen, I don't just use you for... We do other things, don't we? Don't stop. Okay, you're just annoying now. We do other things.